The Spider-Man Far From Home trailer is about to play, but if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame yet, stop watching because there's some serious spoilers about to come up. But if you have seen Avengers Endgame, enjoy the trailer. Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too. I don't think Tony would have done what he did if he didn't know that you were going to be here after he was gone.
You gonna be the next Iron Man now?
Well, no, I don't have time. I'm too busy doing your jobs.
Oh!
I'm kidding. Look, keep up the good work because I am going on vacation.
Heads up, Nick Fury's calling you.
I don't really want to talk to Nick
Answer
Fury.
the phone.
Why?
Because if you don't talk to him, then I have to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. You sent Nick Fury to voicemail?
I gotta go.
You do not ghost Nick Fury.
What up, Dorks? What's up? We're just talking about the trip.
I'm here in St. Marco Polo. Oh!
I think MJ really likes me.
That reminds me when I first fell in love.
You're a very difficult person to contact, Spider-Man. This is Mr. Beck.
We could have used someone like you on my world.
Your world?
Beck is from Earth, just not ours. The snap to a hole in our dimension.
You're saying there's a multiverse?
We have a job to do, and you're coming with us.
There's gotta be someone else you can use. What about Thor?
Off-world.
Captain Marvel? Unavailable. But I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
What do you want, Peter?
I want to go back on my trip with the girl who I really like and tell her how I feel. MJ, I
am Spider-Man.
No, of course I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
You're right, you may not be ready, but this is my responsibility. Saving the world requires sacrifice. Sometimes people die.
Oh my God.
I just always feel like I'm putting my friends in danger. The world needs the next Iron Man.
You going to step up or not?
I gotta get you guys out of here. Get on the jet. Who are you? I work with Spider-Man.
You work for Spider-Man?
I work with Spider-Man, not for Spider-Man. New plan.
This is me, Ryan from Ryan Studios, and I'm back with another video. And yesterday, the new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer dropped, and this does have spoilers in the video, probably for Avengers Endgame. But of course, you saw Tom Holland's little clip in the beginning that there will be spoilers in this, so I won't really have to go and out of my way to make sure you guys don't get spoiled, because why would you be watching this if you did not see Endgame? So I'm just going to do a quick trailer breakdown. I have a lot of things to do right now, so I'm probably going to be very quick about it. But the new trailer looks amazing. That's starting to hype up the movie for me now that Avengers Endgame has passed. And I think this might have the potential to be one of the best Marvel movies ever. Of course, Endgame is my favorite, followed by Infinity War and the other Spider-Man movie, which was Spider-Man Homecoming. And this does come out in July. Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too. I don't think Tony would have done what he did if he didn't know that you were going to be here after he was gone.
You saw in that clip, Peter was kind of mourning over the fact that Tony died, and if you haven't seen Endgame and still want to stick around for some weird reason, Tony did end up dying, saving the entire universe in the end of Endgame, wiping all of Thanos' forces by using the Infinity Gauntlet that he made using his nanotech. So he's kind of mourning over the fact that he died, and he said that every time he sees like something honoring Tony or kind of mentioning him, he gets very sad, which we could see the few stages of grief that when someone has a loved one lost. In this case, Tony was kind of a father figure for him because he only had his aunt, and he didn't really have, he had Uncle Ben, but Uncle Ben was actually shown in the, was mentioned, I think, and it seemed like it happened a long time ago, so he kind of got over that death. So the fact that Tony died kind of makes Peter sad. However, he still can turn to Doctor Strange, or in this case he's turning to Happy, as kind of a mentor, because he kind of needs that still because he's only a teenager. So now we're just going to get into the other part of the trailer.
You gonna be the next Iron Man now?
Well, no, I don't have time. I'm too busy doing your jobs.
Oh! I'm kidding. Look, keep up the good work.
Because I am going on vacation.
In that clip, you saw Spider-Man taking a bunch of thugs down, and there was rumors that this could be a Kingpin kind of thug thing that he kind of has, because he kind of reminds me of the Mafia in a way, like kind of in The Simpsons. So that's kind of what the vibe I'm getting. I'm also kind of getting an Ant-Man and the Wasp vibe with the kind of kitchen thing when they're trying to get the one piece that would help them finish the quantum tunnel. It kind of reminds me of that when Ant-Man and the Wasp were taking down those guys, and then there's like the kitchen thing. In this case, it was taking place in like a fancy restaurant, and then Spider-Man roasts the police officers, and then it kind of sets up what's going to be the main plot, that he's Peter and his friends from school are going to Venice and some other places in Europe as a field trip, so that he's not going to be there. So that's kind of that, and now we're just going to get into the rest of the trailer.
Heads up, Nick Fury's calling you.
I don't really want to talk to Nick
Answer
Fury.
the phone.
Why?
Because if you don't talk to him, then I have to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. You sent Nick Fury to voicemail?
I gotta go.
You do not ghost Nick Fury.
What up, dorks? What's up? We're just talking about the trip.
I'm here in St. Marco Polo. Oh!
I think MJ really likes me.
That reminds me when I first fell in love.
You're a very difficult person to contact, Spider-Man.
That huge montage of what just happened, Flash got punched in his manhood. It sets up the kind of other subplot that's going to be in this, which is that Peter kind of goes on an under mission with the two members of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is going to be Maria Hill and Nick Fury, assisted with kind of Mysterio. So yeah, that's basically that, which will be shown right next after this. But also it shows him going to Venice and other parts of Europe, which doesn't really add that much to it. But then you have a few funny jokes with Nick Fury, and you could show that Peter might be pretty close to Happy in this, because they're both going through the same thing where they have to deal with Tony's loss. And also, Ned did mention that when he first fell in love, and he kind of acted like this happened recently, but it wasn't. It was a few years ago, and obviously Peter would know about this if he fell in love or something, but it could have happened after the snap, how it kind of messes up the timelines, and how everyone else aged that wasn't snapped aged 5 years older, kind of like how Ant-Man's daughter did. So maybe there might be some like kind of slow moments between the two of them, because Ned wasn't snapped and Peter was, so there's kind of an age difference between them. Obviously it doesn't show that because the actors aren't really that different, but you kind of get the same general feeling that they might not be as close of friends as they were in the first one. Like, yeah, they'll still be friends, but they won't be as close because they haven't seen each other for 5 years. In Peter's case, it was, I don't know if it really felt like 5 years for them. Obviously it didn't age them, but yeah, so now for the next big clip stuff.
This is Mr. Beck.
We could have used someone like you on my world.
Your world?
Beck is from Earth, just not ours. The snap tore a hole in our dimension.
You're saying there's a multiverse?
We have a job to do, and you're coming with us.
There's gotta be someone else you can use. What about Thor?
Off-world.
Captain Marvel? Unavailable. But I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
As you saw in those series of clips, it had cutbacks to Nick Fury, Peter, Maria Hill, and Mysterio talking in this European sewer kind of design, which really reminds me of the fifth Mission Impossible Fallout, the one that came out last summer. How they kind of had that secret lair in the sewer towards the end of the movie, and then Peter was asking about the other superheroes like Thor and Captain Marvel, and then he's like, they're not available, which can't make sense, which also concludes my theory that Thor might be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Captain Marvel's doing whatever she does, protecting the other planets other than Earth, obviously. And then Nick Fury makes a joke, which is pretty funny. And then it also introduced the elementals. There's the water one, Hydro Man, and then there's Molten Man, and then there's this other one there might be. I don't know. I'm just basing off my knowledge off the Lego sets, which is like my only knowledge on this movie at all. So yeah, that's kind of it for these clips, but I'm just going to go to the final one.
What do you want, Peter?
I want to go back on my trip with the girl who I really like and tell her how I feel. MJ, I
am Spider-Man.
No, of course I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
You're right, you may not be ready, but this is my responsibility. Saving the world requires sacrifice. Sometimes people die.
Oh my God.
I just always feel like I'm putting my friends in danger. The world needs the next Iron Man.
You going to step up or not?
Out of here! Get on the jet! Who are you? I work with Spider-Man.
You work for Spider-Man?
I work with Spider-Man, not for Spider-Man. New plan!
Storm's really picking up, but anyways, as you can see, they were talking about Spider-Man taking up the mantle, and also I think what might play out is Mysterio in the first trailer seemed like he was end up gonna be the villain, but in this it kind of seems like he would be like kind of a big twist character where he'll help Peter and then eventually turn on him. It would kind of be like the first Incredibles, but not entirely. But it would be the opposite way around. But they were also talking. MJ she kind of knows a lot more. She seems almost like a Deadpool in a way, where she knows more than the audience really does sometimes, and it's kind of funny just to see how they play. And then you also have the awkward teenage romance between Peter and MJ, which, you know, I don't want it to be one of those kind of Spider-Man, the Incredible Spider-Man, or the Amazing Spider-Man, like the Andrew Garfield ones, where kind of takes away from the movie, not in a way. And then also saying how the one way that Mysterio can get to Spider-Man is that he needs a mentor, and obviously he has like Happy, and then he could always go to Doctor Strange because they're both in New York. Obviously, Doctor Strange isn't going to go to Venus, but he could use that to his advantage to kind of get a hold of Spider-Man, maybe find out information on him, and maybe exploit him. Also, there was this one theory going around that Mysterio is kind of someone who's kind of a loser, and obviously, in this case, he's from the multiverse, which we never knew before, because the snap apparently made like a ripple in time and made multiple universes, which kind of reminds me of the one of the arcs from the CW's Flash, where they have multiple Earths, and yeah, that's kind of it. It seems pretty cool. I'm very excited for it. I'm kind of worried that might be filled with too many plot points, and they might kind of take away from the movie and might get audiences lost. But usually Marvel does their movies very good. Hulk and Thor: The Dark World. But yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Remember to like and subscribe. Join my Discord in the description below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.